Welcome back, fuckers. Alrighty, on today's quick tutorial, we're going to run through how to take off, taxi, and what buttons you need, and what settings you need to have for your aircraft to do the following. So let's jump into the pit and quickly smash this one out. Alright, so quickly, buttons you're going to need for this bad boy to do properly. We're going to have HOTAS, nose wheel steering button. Okay, and you're also going to have your flaps down, flaps up. Okay, you want those bound as well, and also obviously your throttles. Access commands, go to your throttles here. Alright, you can see we've got both our throttles. You're going to need your rudder pedals, brakes if you got them on your rudder pedals, and that is pretty much it. Okay, so on the throttles, if you use the Thrustmaster Warthog HOTAS and you use the Afterburner D10, okay, so you have got one, you know what the fuck I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. So if you do use it, this is what I've done. So I've made a custom little curve here so that when I push my throttles all the way forward to the D10, okay, so I haven't gone through. If I push through the Afterburner D10 now, you can see I get that extra little bit of range there. So that's when my throttle stops at the D10. Afterburner D10 stops my throttle there, and I've still got that last little bit of range to go. So I've configured my throttles using user curves. Okay, if you copy these, pause the fucking video, write these down, and set it up. So you're going to go dead zone 0, saturation X 100, saturation Y 100, and you're going to select user curve and box slider. And you're going to set these up 0, 2, 5, 13, 21, 32, 52, 63, 80, 90, 100. And what that will do, and make sure you do it exactly the same for the other throttle. And what that does is when you hit the D10, your A10 will be at full max power. Okay, will be firewalled essentially. You'll have a little bit more play if you do go through the D10, but no, it's minimal. It's like maybe 0.5% more power. And the trade-off being, otherwise, you have to either take the D10 out to get all the way through to push your throttles all the way through, and it's annoying when you're constantly having to push through. Not that it's like first world problems, man. The dimes are too pointy, but I just like for this, if I know that I hit full D10 or I hit the Afterburner D10, my aircraft is going to be in full power. So any aircraft that doesn't have an Afterburner, I just set mil power up so that when it hits the D10, that's it. I'm at full mil power for the aircraft and I don't have to worry about going through the D10. D10 doesn't affect anything. So handy little tip right there. And also that should be, I think that's all the buttons we need. All right. So nose wheel steering, press HOTAS nose wheel steering, get steering engaged, steering off. Okay. Taxiing and stuff is the same as normal. So we'll just go for a quick taxi around here. Down over there, and then we'll come over. All right, so nice and easy. Use your rudder pedals or your twist grip, whatever you got. Make sure you got rudder bound so that you can actually taxi. If you don't, if you go to taxi and nothing happens, double check that nose wheel steering is engaged. And if you've taken some battle damage, you may have lost the system as well. So, but if once you've just started up, get nose wheel steering, get the nose wheel steering engaged, and you're good to go. Just line ourselves up here, break down the middle of the runway so we can taxi or take off to the left or right because we're not going to go straight, guarantee it. Brakes on. All right, so now next one, flaps. Okay, if you've got the Thrustmaster Warthog throttle, if you go flaps to the center D10, it puts flaps at 10 degrees or 8 degrees. All the way down, goes full flaps, back to center D10, and then flaps up. For takeoff, you want center, okay, 10 degrees. Gear is down, we have definitely turned on, make sure you turn those on, and hit takeoff trim. That's it. So now we're gonna go brakes on. Spooler up. Brakes off, and we're looking for airspeed of 80. At 80 knots, we're going to turn our nose wheel steering off and then use our rudders. Alright, so we go full mil power here. We are in mil power, full gate. Full as fast as we fucking can, which is not very fast. There we go, nose wheel steering off. Now I'm using rudder pedals only. And we want a rotation speed of about 130 to 150. Compared to a Hornet, she definitely doesn't get up and boogie. And gently pull back on the stick now. And up we come. Alright, gear up. Flaps up. And then nice and easy. One thing to note with the A-10 is the rudder is super touchy. Like in the Hornet and stuff, you can boot the rudder around and it'll relatively stay stable, but in A-10, if you kick the rudder in and you're kind of low to the ground, you're probably going to spear in and eat it. So just be mindful of that if you do use the rudder. It is quite sensitive. Go easy with rudder. Okay, A-10 rudder, very good. So that's it. That's how you take off. All right. Take off, gear up, flaps up, and then climb speed. Try and keep it around 200 knots. Top speed in this bad boy, depending on your configuration, you're looking at cruising straight and level. If you've got nothing on the jet, probably like 320 to 350 max. You can get it up to 400 in a dive, but again, not really advised. It's not designed to go that fast. But generally, when you're loaded up like we are now, you're going to be flat out cracking 300. So she's slow, but goddamn, she can take a beating, and she is one sexy plane. So there we go. That is taken off in A-10. Lovely. Righto boys, if you did like the video, make sure you hit like to let me know that you did. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Helps me out a fucking bunch. And lastly but not least, if you haven't already, come check me out on Twitch. I stream Monday to Friday at 1300 Australian Western Standard Time. And we just do DCS shit. So come by, say hello, ask any questions you got, and hopefully between all of us, we can figure out your problem and point you in the right direction. Alright guys, catch you on the next one.